Imagine your phone buzzing at 6:13 a.m. with a government alert that sounds like a movie trailer gone wrong. Do not approach the infected. Shelter in place. You reach the window, and the street is too quiet. No buses, no clatter of coffee cups, just a siren far away, and a crow that didn't get the memo. In the time it takes to realize this isn't a drill, your brain does the fastest geography test of your life. Where on earth would I actually have a shot? Not the coolest place, not the most cinematic rooftop. An honest, practical chance to stay alive, stay fed, and stay sane. Today we're ranking 5 countries where your odds look best, and more importantly, why. We'll talk geography that buys you time, food systems that don't fall over, power that keeps the lights and fridges on, water you don't have to gamble with, climates that work in your favor, and cultures that actually show up for each other. It's a thought experiment, not advice, but we're going to treat it like you and I need a plan by sunset. Before we name names, here's the survival math that actually matters. Isolation slows chaos, so islands and hard borders help. Low population density gives you breathing room. You want acres per person, not people per square meter. Food security beats any action scene. Countries that export calories, grains, fish, dairy, can keep you and your neighbors fed when ships stop showing up. Power resilience is huge. Hydro, geothermal, wind, solar, anything that makes electricity without a daily fuel truck. Fresh water is life and laundry and morale. Terrain is your friend if it's usable. Mountains and fjords funnel movement. Deserts block it, and winter cold turns bitey problems into brittle ones. Finally, the social fabric matters more than you think. If people already cooperate, trust institutions, and drill for emergencies, that's worth more than 10 fictional machetes. With that lens, 5 places rise to the top: New Zealand, Iceland, Norway, Canada, and Chile. Let's drop in, day 1 to the first season, and make it real. Start with New Zealand, the practical daydream. The country is 2 big islands and several smaller ones you can literally count the main choke points for. A handful of ports, a few international airports, limited ferry routes. That's a nightmare for an outbreak trying to flood in, and a blessing for a population trying to slow it down. Population density is low enough that you could spread out without becoming a hermit. Food isn't just available, it's abundant. New Zealand exports dairy, meat, fruits, and wine in normal times. And even when the global container dance collapses, local production doesn't switch off. Picture a community pivot. Milk that used to go to export now fills local coolers, sheep and cattle become community shares, and backyard vegetable patches level up from hobby to neighborhood insurance. Power isn't perfect, but it's robust. A big slice of electricity comes from hydro and geothermal, which means you can keep lights and fridges running without importing tankers full of fuel. Water? Rivers and rainfall help, and this is a place where boil water advisory is a thing people understand and actually do. The climate is gentle by apocalypse standards. No months-long deep freeze, no desert furnace, which is a polite way of saying you won't burn a winter's worth of calories just to keep your fingers. Culturally, Kiwis have a reputation for pitching in, getting organized, and improvising with a smile. Day 1 looks like this. You and your street swap numbers, someone knows a farmer, someone else has a generator, you map the 3 nearest clinics on paper, and you divide tasks like you're forming a local rugby team. The first week is a rhythm of early walks, garden building, helping the elderly neighbor secure her rain barrels, and taking turns at a lookout that's 80% boredom and 20% peace of mind. By the first season, communities are trading cheese for firewood, fish for apples, and a mechanic's time for everybody's gratitude. It's not idyllic, but it's survivable, and the island geography keeps your odds kind. Now fly your imagination north to Iceland, a volcanic snow globe with a plug-in. If you land anywhere on Earth during a long emergency, landing on a grid that runs on geothermal and hydro is basically rolling a natural 20. Heat comes from the ground. Lights come from waterfalls. Hot water is piped like a civic love letter. You don't have to guard a pipeline. The planet is your boiler. The population is small, and communities are used to dealing with nature's mood swings, storms, ash, ice, without waiting for permission. Fishing isn't just a profession, it's a backbone. In regular life, Iceland's fishing fleets and processing plants feed far beyond its shores. In crisis, that protein feeds home first. Greenhouses heated with geothermal energy are not a novelty. They can be scaled for leafy stuff and even tomatoes. Isolation is practically a superpower. Close one airport. Inspect one or two main harbors. Suddenly, you're not fighting the world, you're negotiating arrivals. Water is clean, and the culture of trusting science and taking collective action pays dividends when rumor and fear are a second pandemic. Day one in Reykjavik looks like this. The radio is calm. Emergency managers speak like they've been here before. Your building checks in with a clipboard and a group chat. And a neighbor, who only nodded at in the hallway. Last week hands you a printed sheet with local resources because of course they do. The countryside takes care of itself the way it always has. Quietly, stubbornly, with a tractor and a plan. In the first month, you realize the thing that makes Iceland tick is not just lava and waterfalls. It's a social habit. We do this together, and we don't make a fuss. Slide across to Norway, which might be the most underrated fortress on the map. Start with fjords, those long, cold fingers of ocean that carve the land into neighborhoods the size of small planets. Roads funnel. Bridges are easy to watch. Harbors come with natural choke points that even a small community can keep an eye on. A huge portion of Norwegian electricity is hydro, which means when the news goes weird, your kettle still boils. Add in serious wind resources, resilient grid engineering, and the kind of practical competence that comes from running a country where winter trains do not apologize for snow. Food? Norway's coastline and fisheries are a conveyor belt of calories. Add small-scale farms and a culture of cabins, smoked fish, root cellars, and you see how people already plan for seasons where you don't just pop to the shop. Water is abundant. The climate is your co-conspirator. Cold slows a lot of problems down. And then there's the social layer. High trust, strong local governance, and a quiet pride in doing things the right way. Day one is not panicked. It's organized. Ferry schedules are posted, then shortened. Villages check on each other up and down a valley by radio. The person who runs the ski hut also knows how to run a generator. You and a friend take the 6 a.m. watch at the end of a pier, sipping coffee that tastes like resolve, murmuring about which nets to set, and what the kids will do for lessons if school goes remote for a while. The first season turns into a ritual of chopping wood, fixing nets, trading jars of pickled everything, and writing names and weights in a notebook like your grandparent used to, because paper still works when the cloud doesn't. Stretch a map, and Canada is the part that looks like someone sat on the zoom out button. If you crave elbow room, you won't run out. Low population density means you can put meaningful distance between problems and your front door. Fresh water is not theoretical. It's lakes that look like oceans and rivers you can hear from your porch. Electricity is a patchwork that includes massive hydro systems, especially in Quebec, British Columbia, Manitoba, and Newfoundland and Labrador. The prairies grow grain like it's a personality. Coastal regions fish like it's a language. Forestry is both an industry and, in a pinch, heat. Canada does winter, and winter does you a favor in any outbreak scenario. Cold slows movement, slows decay, slows the things you don't want fast. That said, cities are big, and you don't want to figure things out there. The good news is Canadians are famously decent in a crisis. Snowstorm rules apply. Check on neighbors, share what you have, and shovel someone else's walkway on your way back. Day one is phone trees and ham radios in rural areas, community centers becoming community brains, and a respectful tug-of-war between people who like plans and people who like to just show up and stack chairs. In a fishing town on the Atlantic coast, the harbor master flips a whiteboard from weather notes to who needs what, and a handful of skippers turn into a supply line for the entire village. In the prairies, a grain elevator office becomes a bulletin board with hand-drawn maps and a rotation for the one working fuel pump. The first season feels like a pioneer reenactment with Wi-Fi breaks. If you're lucky, you end up in a place where every third person can fix a tractor and every second person can make soup for a crowd. Finally, Chile, the long, skinny country that feels like a geography teacher's inside joke and a survival planner's crush. The Pacific is a wall on the west. The Andes are a wall on the east. The Atacama in the north is a wall made of Mars. In the south, fjords, islands, and weather do their best impression of, "Are you sure you want to come this way?" This is what you want in an outbreak. Funnels and filters you can actually manage. Chile is a food exporter with a climate buffet. Mediterranean valleys that crank out fruit and wine, southern zones for grains and dairy, a fishing industry that is not shy about hard work, and a growing desert solar belt that can power towns when supply chains stumble. Water is a north-south story, but the places where people already live tend to have the infrastructure to move it sensibly, and communities are accustomed to earthquakes, tsunamis, and the idea that preparedness isn't nerdy, it's Tuesday. Day one, in a coastal town is boats tied snug, radios checking in round robin, and a plaza that turns into a market by noon because trading face-to-face is faster than waiting for apps to load. In the Central Valleys, you see tractors in convoy and irrigation gates open or closed with the kind of calm that only comes from people who've done seasonal triage their whole lives. In the South, lodges and farmhouses become hubs with wood stoves, big pots, and neighbors who can carve a path through brush like it's a birthright. The first season is harvest, smokehouses, barrels, and simple math. How many hands, how many mouths, how many meals we can bottle. You realize quickly that Chile's long ribbon shape is not a flaw. It's a series of manageable neighborhoods with big walls between them. At this point, you might be thinking, what about other solid contenders? Switzerland has bunkers and mountains, and a civil defense culture that's the envy of prepper forms, but it has a lot of neighbors and a lot of borders to worry about. Australia has island isolation, serious agriculture, and an emergency management playbook as thick as a brick, but water and bushfire seasons are real management problems. Ireland is an island with wind, rain, and pasture, a tempting combination. Finland brings stoic competence, forests, lakes, and a winter that tells trouble to slow its roll. There are many good arguments. The five we chose each tick enough boxes, in different ways, that your chances as an ordinary person, no cape, no plot armor, feel meaningfully better. Now, let's make this personal and practical, because imagining a country is one thing. Imagining your Tuesday morning there is the part that calms your breathing. In New Zealand, your day settles into early light and good lists. You pull on a sweater, check the rain barrel you installed with your neighbor, and walk to the community hall with a notebook and a thermos. Someone posts the rotation for the generator hours. The school field is now a garden with rows marked by popsicle sticks. A retired couple who used to watch gardening shows on Sundays have somehow become the bosses of broccoli. At the coast, a kid with a surfboard is now a runner between the fisher's shed and the town. He comes back with a grin and a basket of kahawai. Your phone still works sometimes, but the paper map on the corkboard is the new social network. When you're on watch, you're mostly bird watching. Once a day, you write 3 lines. Who you saw, what you heard, what you need. It's amazing how much smoother people are when a plan exists, even if the plan is 10 bullet points and a big, we'll figure it out. In Iceland, your day is warm even when the weather isn't. You wake to radiators you didn't have to beg diesel for. You boil water like it's your superpower because it is. Your apartment co-op has a schedule for the greenhouses on the edge of town. Somebody's uncle has a key and away with cucumbers. The fishing boats go out on a rhythm that ignores panic and respects storms. You spend an hour helping a neighbor seal a drafty window with materials that would make your old landlord faint. You cycle to the pool not for laps, but for a community meeting, because a hot pot and a whiteboard is the new city hall. The news is sober and short, and you trust it because it says, "We don't know yet," as easily as it says, "Do this." At night, you look up, and on clear nights, the sky reminds you that planets are very old, and so are people, and both facts matter. In Norway, your day smells like wood smoke and fish. You check the fjord, like other people check email. The village WhatsApp is crisp and no nonsense. 2 fuel deliveries left, boil water notice lifted, tomorrow's work party on the old bridge at 8. You walk past a boathouse where a teenager is learning knots from someone who still remembers how to mend sails. At the the school, the gym storage closet has been transformed into a pantry with labels that would win awards for neatness. You help stack split birch and learn the proper Norwegian word for enough. When the wind comes up the valley, it carries a chill that feels like an ally. You wear a hat and call it strategy. In Canada, your day has the kind of quiet that's not silence. It's just a big place being a big place. On the coast, you check lobster traps like you're checking on friends. In the far north, the radio crackles with voices you know by nickname and laugh. In the prairies, a line of pickup trucks does the world's most wholesome convoy to drop off sacks of flour to a town that needs them. In Quebec, a hydro dam hums like an old song you forgot you knew, and somebody's aunt makes a stew that can feed a labor crew twice. Your community hall becomes the library, classroom, pharmacy, and rumor filter. The person who runs it did not ask for that job. The job asked for them, and they said yes because that's what people do when the snow flies. When winter really hits, roads quiet, problems slow, and a lot of foolishness takes a nap. In Chile, your day is textured by the map itself. In the north, dawn is a sharp-edged thing in a sky that never learned to be shy. Solar panels wake up like sunflowers, and you plan your day around their generosity. In the central valleys, grapes ripen, peaches gleam, and irrigation ditches reflect a sky that means business. You help put up jars that look like jewelry and taste like summer. At the coast, the sea gives you exactly what the sea always gives. Enough if you respect it, nothing if you don't. In the far south, a wind scours you clean while a neighbor hands you a cup of something that probably counts as medicine. A sawmill becomes a social hub. Someone who used to design logos now fixes chainsaws and is somehow happy. The mountains in the east look like a promise written in stone. This way is hard, that's the point. If you're listening from somewhere that didn't make the list and you're thinking, great, thanks for the travel brochure, the point isn't moving, it's mind-shifting. Wherever you are, the advantage belongs to people who copy these countries' best habits. Find the choke points in your city, the literal bridges and the metaphorical ones. Learn where your food actually comes from and how many steps there are between soil or sea on your plate. Put names to systems, the substation that feeds your neighborhood, the clinic that serves your block, the people who fix things when outages happen. Build tiny redundancy, water filters, a shelf of boring shelf-stable food, a way to cook without the grid, a conversation with your neighbors that starts with, if the phones go weird, we'll meet here. Most of all, practice the social muscle that every one of our 5 countries already flexes. Communities that are used to showing up don't need a cape. They need a clipboard, a kettle, and a reason. If you want a pocket checklist that matches what we've just walked through, it's this. Isolation you can manage, beats drama you can't. Calories, you can grow or catch, beat calories you have to pray for. Electricity, you can make locally, beats electricity you have to buy at the dock. Water, you can trust beats anything that comes with marketing. Weather that does some of your work for you is a gift you should accept. And neighbors who talk to each other before things get weird are worth their weight in anything you can't pronounce. So yes, a zombie apocalypse is the kind of story we tell to flex our planning muscles without having to admit we're talking about storms and supply chains and the way the world actually wobbles. But if you woke up tomorrow in New Zealand, Iceland, Norway, Canada, or Chile, you wouldn't be starring in a movie. You'd be helping your street turn into a team, your map into a plan, your pantry into a bridge between anxious mornings and easier afternoons. You'd be learning the same lessons people who live in tough places already know. We win by being boring on purpose, by doing small things well, and by sharing the work so no one burns out. You discover that the real survival skill isn't swinging something dramatic. It's making soup, keeping lists, and remembering that every problem is easier with warm light, clean water, and the phone number of the neighbor who owns a shovel. Here's the last image I want you to keep. Somewhere on the far edge of a map, a ferry leaves an island dock at sunrise. On deck are crates that used to be export goods and are now just food for friends. The captain waves to a kid with a bicycle who is today's post office. On shore, someone flips a sandwich board to "We're open," not because money is working, but because people are. A radio hisses, then clears. A hot plate clicks on. A bell rings the hour. No one is a hero, and that is the best possible news, because it means everyone gets to go on.